Hello, 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 and it's Thursday. So you know what that means. A new episode of Chit Chat with Bernie Bella. I'm your host, Bernadine, and welcome to episode 14 of the show. So if it's your first time here, let me know if you can hear me clearly. Drop a comment, say hello, say hi. Let me know who's checked in with me tonight. Yes, episode 14 of Chit Chat with Bernie Bella is about to start. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. Previous episodes can be found on YouTube, so visit the site, like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry, I just have to comment, say hello, say hi. Sorry, had to make a fix. And set your notifications. So please share the live. This is a talk show where we discuss sports, politics, current affairs, entertainment, gossip, and news, whatever is happening in our community and around the world. Also, if it's a trending topic, we will discuss it. Your thoughts and opinions are welcome. You, the viewers, are asked to participate. You can ask questions, make comments, give your opinions, etc. It's an interactive show, and your participation will allow you to win a gift of the week. And the gift this week is the fight, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. So drop a comment, let me know who's here with me. Our aim is to have fun while discussing and learning about various news items around the world, getting different points of view, and just enjoy ourselves. So we're going to start out tonight with our musical artists preview of the week. And Bounty Killer has a new song and video out called Stoplight. It's one of the singles off his upcoming album, where he promises to give us a little bit of everything and reclaim his position as one of the titans of dancehall. It's a nice song, and it'll definitely be played in the dances everywhere. Dexter Daps, Kior, and Cranium has a new song and video out called Be High. Cranium and Dexter on their own are two of the smoothest artists when it comes to girl songs. So imagine the two of them teaming up to do a song. It's really nice beat, everything. It's actually cleanish, so it's not bad. Governor also has a new song and video out called Karen, and it's actually quite funny. As you may know, Karen is a name given to white people, or white ladies mostly, who likes to call cops on black people and just generally fuss in a black people business. Well, this is what the song is about, and also the video. So it's a quite hilarious video of that whole Karen situation. So check out all the videos on YouTube and Vivo, and video links will also be in the description box on my YouTube channel. Oh, hi, Enid. Good night. Blessings. Thanks for checking in. Hope all is well with you. So we're going to go into the sports arena, and the LA Clippers, Kawhi Leonard is still out with an injury. The Clippers are currently down 0-2 to the Phoenix Suns. There was a bit of controversy over the ending of Game 2, which, the Suns won, of course. So they're playing Game 3 tonight, which just started at about 9 o'clock. Yeah, so it's just getting started. And we'll see how that one plays out. Chris Paul, he'll be playing tonight as well. He got cleared to play as he was out due to COVID-19 protocol. So he will be playing tonight as well. The Brooklyn Nets unfortunately did not make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They got bounced in the semis. I must admit that I thought they would be in the finals. I had them in it against the Suns. And they got bounced. And Philadelphia got bounced as well. But Philadelphia basically choked themselves out of the series. They lost the last two games that they were leading. by enough. Like in one game they were up by 26, and another game they were up by 19, and both games they just choked towards the end of it and got beaten and did not make the Eastern Conference Finals. So I guess the process isn't working so well after all. So we'll see what happens, how they move forward with that. Hi, Rudolph. Thanks for checking in. Hope all is well with you. So we're going to go on. The Blue Jays, they're having a 50-50 week. They'll win some, they'll lose some. Like they're not consistent. They haven't put together like a winning streak yet. So if they're going to do that, they can't get to the top of their division with that kind of playing. And I mean, Vladdy Guerrero Jr., he's a leading home run hitter in the league, but I don't think he's getting much help from his teammates. Even though the Blue Jays have a slim winning record, they're 36-35. They do need to pick up, their game so that they can get to the top of their conference. Because at the rate they're going, they won't make it into the playoffs. TFC returned to play on June 19th last Saturday. They lost that game to Orlando. They also played that last night, and they lost that game 3-2 as well. They're now on a 3-game losing streak, so it seems like this season will be a crappy one for them. So we'll, have to wait and see what happens. Hey, Erica, thanks for checking in. How are you? So we're going to start our news stories this week with by sending out congratulations to the sprint legend, Mr. Usain Bolt himself and his partner, Casey Bennett, on the announcement of the birth of their twin boys. The announcement came on Father's Day when they both posted pics of their video shoot on both of their IGs. They did not state when the twins were born, but if a lot of people were caught off guard, and a lot of people were surprised due to the comments that I saw under their both postings. A lot of people were wondering when she got pregnant, how all of that happened. But if you follow gossip blogs like Dear Dreams and Pink Wall, this news was out there a couple of months ago. So you would not have been surprised if you follow those gossip blogs. But good for them. So the names of the boys are Saint Leo Bolt and Thunderbolt, and they're joining big sister Olympia Lightning Bolt. So imagine roll call in a school in a few years from now. And with 3 kids under the age of 2, that's going to be a lot of work. But congrats to the happy couple. Congrats to them at all as well. Oh, hey, Orlando. Thanks for checking in. Good night. Good night. So Uber has arrived in Jamaica. It started on June 15th, and they said that their Kingston will be their test market before they roll it out to other parishes. I saw a couple of videos where the taxi drivers were complaining about Uber coming in and the competition from Uber, etc. It's just like when Uber came here, and it was the same with the taxi industry, all up in arms about Uber and stuff. So we'll have to see how that plays out in Jamaica. We'll have to see how long it takes for other parishes to get it. I'm thinking they'll probably, one after Kingston, they may do Montego Bay and then Ocherias and Negril, like I'm thinking the main tourist parishes will get this first, and then they'll roll it out to the other places. But I'm not sure how I would feel taking Uber in Jamaica, to be honest, because the taxi driver, them are not all crazy. And I don't know. But we'll see. But it's a good look for Jamaica. It shows that countries that are considered first were like Canada and the US, and the things that we're enjoying here, the convenience we're enjoying here, it's coming to Jamaica, and Jamaicans will enjoy those conveniences as well. So, if I'm in Jamaica and I don't have my car down there and I don't have a driver to come get me, I can call Uber and get to where I want to go. So, yeah, I'm looking forward. That should be quite interesting. Hey, Money, thanks for checking in. Thanks for checking in. Orlando says, some of the taxi man them need competition, right? Some of them feisty and with them driving and all them want all and pull you and all of them something there. Okay, it's the same as in Canada. I would assume that it's the same as in Canada in terms of being able to be on the app with them and call them and wait and all of that stuff. It may be a little safer than just jumping in a taxi car cab, because sometimes a taxi car is not really a taxi car. So it should be interesting to see. So we're going to circle to South Carolina. So a 70-year-old boy was mauled to death by dogs while walking with his brother. The boy, identified as Shamar Jackson, was attacked while walking on Wilbur Road, which is about 45 miles northwest of Myrtle Beach, according to statements from the Marion County Sheriff's Office. The siblings were looking for their Chihuahua when they encountered a pack of dogs, their dad told the state, the local newspaper. It was so many dogs coming from different directions, Colonel Jackson said, according to the news outlet. A search warrant executed Monday led to the seizure of 5 dogs and 1 puppy from a nearby property, according to the sheriff's office. No criminal charges have been filed in connection with the incident, and authorities are still investigating. That's so sad, though. So sad. But let's hope he recovers. And I would definitely be suing the owners of those dogs, because if they were locked up properly, they would not have been able to escape, to come out and maul this little child who's going about his business. So a couple of weeks ago, there was reports that they had found a mass grave with hundreds of bodies of Indigenous children buried on a residential school property. Since then, there's been 2 more discoveries, and one in Saskatchewan, and now approximately 751 unmarked graves have been found near the former Marival Indian Residential School. So if we're keeping track, like, this is over 1,000 bodies that have been found. And, this opens a lot of wounds for the Indigenous people, as this was a dark time in their history. And more investigation needs to be done to see how many more of these grave sites are out there. I'm thinking that they need to check every location where there was a residential school. And I know the other day they were asking for records from the nuns, and the nuns were refusing to provide the records of the kids that were there and stuff like that. I noticed that yesterday one set have since come forward and said they'll provide the records. So we'll see how that goes. I know of, I think of the 751 kids that were buried that they found, I think only 7 were identified years ago. But now, with more coming out and stuff, it's going to be very, very emotional for a lot of families. There's some Indigenous families that still have family members who were a part of the residential school, because they only closed the residential schools in the late 80s, early 90s. So that's not it's not too long ago. So it's not a good look for Canada. Definitely not a good for the Catholic Church, because of course they were the ones that were running the school. So I don't know how they reconcile that the things that they did to the indigenous kids and reconcile that with their godly and Christian teachings. So it, this isn't going to go away anytime soon. I'm sure they're going to be finding more bodies. I'm sure there's going to be more issues coming up. And what I find also interesting is that China, Russia, Venezuela, and Iran are calling for further investigation as into what's happening with these discoveries. So it's definitely not a good look for Canada, because we've always been talking about, genocide in other countries, and we've always been bashing China for their treatment of the Uruguay in the people, and we've been bashing Russia, but our backyard isn't clean, and we've got issues. We've got issues. So let's see. Enid said that's really sad. Money says this is sad. The family must get answered. And Erica said this is really sad. Yeah. So we'll see how, how things go, how it plays out. There was a commission a couple of years ago that they did some looking into, and they had some things that they said that they were going to do. So we'll see what happens with it. We'll see. So we're going to circle around to Greece, and a Greek helicopter pilot was charged Friday with the murder of his British Greek wife, whose death he had initially claimed was caused by burglars during a brutal invasion of their home on the outskirts of Athens. So pilot and flight instructor Babis Anagnostopoulos, 33, was arraigned for the May 11th killing of Caroline Crouch, age 20, who died of suffocation. So somebody I go home, invade your place, and suffocate your wife. Yeah, that makes sense. He was led in handcuffs and a bulletproof vest to an Athens court and is due to return next week to give evidence. In a brief remarks to reporters, his lawyer confirmed that he had confessed to the crime, adding that he had expressed remorse for his actions. They're only remorseful when they get caught. Police investigators said analysis of data from a smartwatch worn by the victim had helped reveal inconsistencies in the pilot's account of events. The pilot had publicly claimed that armed robbers broke into the couple's home and tied up and gagged him and his wife in their bedroom as their months-old daughter slept. He had said the men stole cash before escaping. The account shocked the nation and prompted government officials to announce a €300,000 reward for information about the crime. Their daughter was unharmed, but the family dog was found choked to death on a leash hanging from a staircase rail. Dang! Everything was staged for the crime scene to look like the scene of a robbery. Kostas Hasiotis, director of the Greater Athens Homicide Division, told reporters, adding that the suspect had tied his own hands and those of his dead wife. He said the examination of mobile devices, a smartwatch with a heart rate monitor used by Crouch, and cameras had established a timeline that contradicted with the pilot's testimony. Hasiotis said forensic experts established the time a memory card had been removed from a security camera, adding to the evidence against the pilot. He was detained last Thursday while he was attending a memorial service for Crouch on the Asian Sea island of Alonissus, where she grew up. He was flown to Athens by helicopter from the nearby island of Skiathos and interviewed for more than 6 hours before police announced that he was a suspect. The man hang the dog, suffocate him wife, oh yo yo. Woo! Suffocate the dog, hangs his wife, kill him wife, suffocate him wife, hang the dog, tie up him wife, tie up himself and make it look like it. Like a lot of planning went into there, but This is one of the many times I've read where smartwatch played a part in helping police to make arrests, because it puts you where you said you weren't. I've also seen cases and read of cases where the smartwatch caused wives to know that their husbands were cheating on them due to how their heart rate was going at different times of the day when the watches are synced. So be careful how you wear them smartwatches, because they are smart. I only use mine for exercising. But yeah, those smartwatches are, yeah. But this man, he put a lot of planning into him thing, but him still get caught. So I'm going to circle to Jamaica on a little story that came up earlier this week. And I found it quite interesting when it started, and a lot more information came out after. So we'll just read along. So several illegal immigrants were aboard a boat that crashed into a seawall in Pompano Beach, Florida. They were trying to escape to enter the USA from Bahamas illegally. So because Bahamas is close to Florida, it's easy for them to jump on a boat and just be in Florida in no time, like a couple of hours or so. They're maybe about 3-4 hours. They're in the Bahamas. They're in Florida from the Bahamas. So there were about 16 people on the boat from Dominican Republic, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, and Jamaica. 2 of the 16 were children. 7 of the 16 were Jamaicans, and of those 7, 4 of them were wanted by the Jamaican police for various crimes. The man in the red shirt, he was the one that was bold enough to go on TV, because this was a big thing in Florida, and the news team was there, and they made a whole big thing about it. And he was bold enough to be interviewed. Well, not really interviewed, but he had a statement to make. He claimed that he was trying to leave Jamaica as there was too much crime in Jamaica. And according to him, you can't live no life in Jamaica, and he's trying to escape Jamaica as he wants a better life. Well, after that was put out on TV stations across the world, and of course it was rebroadcast in Jamaica, our illustrious Jamaican investigators roll out with his file. So the red shirt man is 53-year-old Dion Cook, otherwise known as Boobie Speng. Boobie Speng apparently is a former East Kingston Don, and his 32-year-old son is saying that his father was no Don. They're telling lies on him. And he said he has no knowledge of his father ever proclaiming or being involved in Donship. However, over a period of 22 years, he's only managed to see his father for 9 months due to him being constantly arrested for various offenses. The son, however, admitted knowledge of his father serving prison time for illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition, as well as escaping police custody. So the father was in jail from the late 80s, early 90s until 2014. Okay. And then he came out he said his father has never been deported. His father is just an influential figure for the People's National Party in Dunkirk, and was convicted for a firearm he was not in possession of. Cook claimed that politics could be at play, which was what forced his father to seek refuge in the United States due to fear he would be arrested for lengthy periods again on trumped-up charges or killed. My father had to do what he did in terms of leaving the island. He's been accused of being wanted and receiving multiple convictions. There are accusations that he was also deported twice. He's been targeted. For over the past 20 years, he has had only one conviction. A lot of things are being said, but it's more likely to be political, said the son. So for the past 22 years, again, he's only seen freedom for about 9 months. He was convicted in the late 1990s and released in 2014. He was charged again in December 2014 for murder, the same year he came out of prison. He then came out in 2019, in 2019. After he came out in 2019, in March again, he was published as a wanted man. And then he's since been in prison since 2019. And then he was released again on March 25th, 2021. Noticing he was being targeted, he had to leave the island for the Bahamas, the son said, and disclosed his father is married to an American citizen. Despite whatever outcome befalls his father in the United States, Andre wants rumors surrounded him to cease. He said his father was no rapist and was never arrested for that offense. Me thinks the man just running away from things. And because it's a common thing to go to the Bahamas and take a boat to the USA. And in Jamaica, as them say, if it no go so, it nearly go so. So rumors, something are going on the man around Mcafee, because they're saying that he has brothers in the USA that were sending for him and all of that stuff. So if a man will just come out of jail in a March, we're in June, he accumulated quite a lot of money to be able to make that trip from Jamaica to the Bahamas, and then to pay somebody from the Bahamas to take him from the Bahamas to the USA. And that ain't cheap. Trust, that is not cheap. So we'll see how that plays out, if they all get sent back to Jamaica, if they're going to go, claim refugee status, or what it is that they're going to do. We'll see how that plays out, and I'll keep you guys informed. So this news came out a couple of months ago. We're circling to Ontario. The news came out a couple of months ago, and it kind of died down. Nothing came out of it. There was no further updates to this situation here, but I'm just going to touch on it. So if you're joining me for the first time, I see just drop a hello, say hi, let me know who's here watching, and feel free to comment or, state your remarks in the comment section. So Toronto police have charged a man in connection with the death of a 3-year-old girl who died last March. He's facing a 45-year-old man is facing multiple charges in connection with the death of the 3-year-old girl who police say was poisoned. They began their investigation after the girl died on March 7th, 2021, after eating breakfast cereal at home. She quickly grew weak, was vomiting, and by the time I rushed to get to her, she was barely breathing and looking ashen, Maureen Mirembe said of her 3-year-old daughter, Bernice. Police allege that a man obtained a controlled substance from his work, and that substance was placed into the children's breakfast cereal. During a sleepover, 2 children in the home ate the cereal and subsequently required hospitalization. One of them died while the other child recovered after a long hospital stay, police said. They also say that they're investigating whether the incident was intentional or accidental. Investigators say they identified the controlled substance through an autopsy, but have not said what substance was used. And they're saying that the family and the accused know each other. Following months of investigation, they arrested the 45-year-old Toronto man on June 19th. Francis Ngugi is charged with 2 counts of administering a noxious substance to endanger life, 2 counts of unlawfully causing bodily harm, and criminal negligence causing death. Me would I like to know how poison accidentally get into the cereal of a 3-year-old. That don't make sense. But I'm sure it'll be in the news again once it goes to court. If he doesn't confess before then and there's a trial, it'll probably be another year or so before. But to actually want to poison the baby, like, but I love to know the reasoning behind that. For me, I'm head to know the reasoning behind that, because that don't make sense. Let's see who's saying what. Hey, Jason, thanks for checking in. Jason said, what happened to all those dogs taken from Jamaica to Canada? Well, Jason, those dogs that were taken from Jamaica to Canada, we touched on that a few weeks ago, and they have all been adopted out. They came specific to people. They didn't just come up and were going into the animal society. It was a charity that brought the dogs up, and that charity already had people who were going to adopt those dogs. So those Jamaican mongrels are now Canadian mongrels living the good life. You know, yes. Enid says, I don't like to read about it. It breaks my heart. Yeah, it's very sad. Very, very sad. Like, 3-year-old, why would you want to poison a 3-year-old? What could a 3-year-old do to you that you would want to poison a 3-year-old? But it's, yeah, very sad. Very sad. We're staying in Ontario, and I found this story quite interesting because it's a case of a father who owes $170,000 in child support because they never pay anybody how many years for the 2 pitney, and now because the 2 kids are adults, he wants to no longer be responsible for paying the back payments. So it was in the Supreme Court division. It's a little bit lengthy, but I'll read through most of it. It's Colucci versus Colucci. It was before the Supreme Court in November, where the father sought to reduce or rescind. So reduce or rescind, that means he wants to either get it thrown out totally or to reduce the amount that he should be paying. And that amount is $170,000. So in a unanimous decision, the Supreme Court declined to give him any relief based on the facts of the case following. So he was married. They were married for 13 years. They divorced in 1996. At that time, they had 2 daughters aged 6 and 8 years old. And they agreed that the daughters would live with the mother, and the father was to pay child support of $115 per week to the mother for 2 pitney. Now, even back then, $115 a week for 2 pitney wasn't a lot, but if that's what you could afford, that's what you could afford. But not long after the divorce and after that whole thing, he left Canada and nobody knew where he was from 1998 to 2012. He did not make any voluntary payments, and he only came back to Canada in 2012, which is coincidentally the year that the child support payment was supposed to end. Right? Again, he went missing in 2012 and he resurfaced again in 2016. So with the child support and the accumulated interest, the money pile up and now it reached $170,000. And the money still a go pile up because more interest still a grow upon the money. So then he started in 2016, he started court proceedings where he sought to retroactively reduce his child support obligations, right? Now the lady, the ex-wife, was willing to take less money, but then him decide him no want pay nothing at all. So then she decided, okay, we're gonna go to court. We're gonna go whatever, and then him decide to go request to go further with it. Him claims say he was living in the United States from 2000 until 2005, where he was only earning $25,000. Then he went to Italy, where his mother passed away in 2008. And he lived off the inheritance he received from his mother's estate. And him still never think to give him kids them any money. Never think to give his kids them any money. Him just come back now and decide say, okay, me no want pay no more money, so we go into court. Some of these men deserve to remain gelding and not have kids. I mean, it is just what it is. You have kids, you go court, them say pay a little bit of the something, him not pay none and him disappear like he fully left the country because him never want pay child support. And then came back to the country when him figure the child support payments are now completed. So if him a go work or whatever, them now go garnish him wage. That's what he thought. So he will come back and start and just say he never earned any money during them the time they so him not supposed to pay anything. Man like him should have remain a gelding. Man like him shouldn't have no pitney. Man like him should not have any kids at all. But it is what it is. Sometimes you can't look into the future and see what the outcome is going to be, because you definitely would not be having kids with some of the people you have kids with if you could see further down the road. Both man and woman, because the woman them, some of them not even that great either, but it is what it is. But I am not sure how many of you have been hearing about Nick Cannon lately. So I'm going to circle the USA and just touch on Mr. Cannon for a minute. So he's doing a lot to populate the earth. He was married to Mariah Carey and he had twins with her. They divorced, they went their separate ways, and that's all good and fine. So that's 2 kids. Since then, he's decided that he's never getting married again, and he's not going to be in a relationship with any one girl or anything of that nature because it's too stressful for him. Okay, so he's just going to be free. All right. So since his separation and divorce from Mariah in 2015, he's had 4 born and 1 unborn child. Actually, 2 unborn. So that's 6. Follow along. Now, it's not how much kids he has. It's the timing of the kids that's making the news. So we'll break it down. So Brittany Bell had a boy named Golden Sagan Cannon on February 21st, 2017. So he got divorced in 2015. She had a baby in 2017. Bell also had a daughter, Powerful Queen Cannon, in December 2020. On June 14th, 2021, Abby De La Rosa gave birth to twins Zion Mixolydian Cannon and Zillian Hare Cannon. The baby shower was in April 2021. So December 2020, one was born. 6 months later, two born. And on June 20th, so last week or earlier this week, Alyssa Scott, so that's the third woman, announced that she's pregnant for Nick and that it will be a boy. Right? So 3 women, 4 kids in less than a year. Also, while Belle was pregnant, that's the one that had the baby in 2020, model Jessica White stated that she miscarried her child with Nick Cannon. Apparently, he was her boyfriend for 6 years, so that would have meant it overlapped into the time when he was with Mariah. She claims that she was living with him as well and only found out about the baby on social media like everyone else. So since Alyssa's announcement, so the announcement on June 20, Abby, the one who had the baby in December, has erased most of the pics with her and Nick from her IG page. But what I want to find out is if he's transparent about how he feels about relationship and such, that he's never settling down with one woman, he's never ever getting married, and basically just a live free. If him want have 10 woman, him not go call them him woman, him just all have relations with them. Should the girls get up in their feelings, knowing that that's what he said? I don't like him hide it. Him come out, say it in a radio interview. Like, should they, one, even get pregnant for him, and two, should they be up in their feelings, knowing that he's not the type to settle down? Or are they thinking of it as a challenge to see if they will be the one that will get him to settle down? Because if a man tell you that I saw him stay, if you choose to go with the man in that way, you shouldn't be upset. You should have just say, okay, I saw that him want to do you. If I know something where you can't manage, you move on. If you can't manage it, then hey, So let's see. Jason said sexy goes with kids for some men. Colleen says good night. Hey Colleen, thanks for checking in. And Jason says, go Nick, go. He's replacing all the black population they kill in the US. Jason, stop it. He's gonna have a long way to go to replace all of them boys. And Erica says money, fame, money. Well, that's true too, because they'll probably figure, child support and all of them things. But I mean, 7 kids, 4 different mamas, that's money going in 4 different homes. No matter how rich you are, like you with that, you have to constantly be working to make sure money's coming in, because you're that rich, people are going to expect a certain amount of money. Like $115 a month is not going to help, not going to make it. You're going to have to be putting out, at least $100,000 a month for 7 kids. That adds up. But rich people problems, as Erica says, money, fame, money. So we're going to circle to Alabama. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I typically go around the world, or around where I find interesting news to bring to you guys. So that, I don't just stay in Jamaica or Canada, or we go different places. So yeah, that's why. Jason says, I have 5 wonderful. He may just love kids as I, and that's fine. That's fine. Like, him having the kids is not the problem. It's the timing of the kids that everybody's talking about. Because remember, 1 was born in December, 2 were born in June, and the next one will be born in a couple of months. So that's 4 kids in less than 1 year with 3 different women. I mean, it happened in Jamaica all the time. because it happens a lot, olden days, current days, and stuff. But because he's a celebrity, it's on the news and people are making much of it. So I just thought it was interesting. So we're going to go to Alabama, and what you're seeing on screen is a vehicle crash that occurred on Interstate 65 in Butler County on Sunday, killing 10 people, including 9 kids. The crash involved 15 cars after one car was believed to have hydroplaned. A father and daughter, Cody Fox, 29, and Ariana Fox, 9 months, died in the accident. They were in an SUV that overturned. Cody Fox was the lone adult that was pronounced dead at the scene, and Ariana died at the hospital. The other 8 deaths were those of children aged 4 to 17. They were traveling in a Tallapoosa County Girls Ranch bus. The children and the driver were the only ones on the bus. The driver was rescued by a bystander who got out of his car and pulled the driver to safety. The bystander then tried to help the kids inside, but the bus was already engulfed by smoke and flames, and he could not get to them. None of the other people involved in the accident appeared to have life-threatening injuries. One woman is in a Montgomery hospital with broken bones. So there was a tornado that Alabama is in what they call the tornado path. So on that night there was a tornado earlier, and they're speculating that with the water that remained, the car hydroplaned, and it just had a chain reaction of vehicles. And the one bus that had the kids, they were coming from the ranch with that. It's only girls that are at the ranch. So the 8 kids that died are all girls. So that was very, 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 very hard. Hi, Marcel. How are you? Thanks for checking in. Okay, so we're going to circle to Jamaica, and I'm thinking quite a few of you would have probably, heard this story. A Clarendon man has allegedly killed himself in jail after being arrested for allegedly killing his baby mama. So this was big news in Jamaica earlier this week as well. So 21-year-old Tashika McKay was found by her 4-year-old child, who then went to get a relative and told them that her mother wasn't waking up and had cream around her head. The cream was actually dried blood. They alleged that it was 20-year-old Markland C.J. Hales who killed her. When the police went and got him, they actually had to fire shots in the air to back off the residents, as they wanted to take him from the cops and exact jungle justice on him. I saw the video. Trust. If the policeman them never fire shots, if I went just like 2 policemen go for him, most likely the people them would have beat up the policeman to get to him. It was that bad. The video wasn't normal. However, the police managed to get him to the station, where they claimed that he confessed to the crime during a caution statement. They're also claiming that later in the evening, during the distribution of meals, he was found hanging from the grill bars by a cord and his marina. People are saying the reason why he killed Tashika was because he was being bantered that the baby she was carrying was not his. It was a jacket. His mother is saying that he was never a problem child. He's never been in trouble with the cops. So Indicom is currently investigating the circumstances of his death while he's in jail. Marcel said, heard about it, people gone nuts. Like, yo, if the police them never strong man, them would have taken from him. Jason said, I'm still asking the question, was he in jail by himself? Jason, yes. What they're doing in Jamaica now is that due to COVID, when you just go inside, you're in a jail by yourself until you've tested negative. And so it takes about a week for you to get put into general population, so to speak, down there. So at the time when he went in, he was in the cell by himself. Okay. And Enid says him should have did 10-time condolences to the baby mom. I know, because it now leaves a 4-year-old without a mother. So, and she was only 21 and he was only 20. So two young lives gone for no reason other than them a bad time say no fiend pitney. I guess him couldn't take the bantering, but I don't know. Sometimes you just don't know when a people head. You don't know when a people head. But if you're just checking in, say hi, drop a comment, let me know who is here. And, comment on the stories as we go along. And let's have a good time. Yes, Marcel, it's all alleged. All allegedly. Allegedly. Jesus said these men who feel them own woman. Can I tell you? What is it? Why men feel like that? Why? Them not understand so they can't own woman. Anyways, we're going to circle back to Ontario, and there's a bunch of stories with regarding to COVID, the step 2, and then different countries and how they're dealing with their COVID situation. So the positive numbers are coming down in Ontario, which is good news. However, while it's coming down in Toronto and Peel and Durham and those places, it's actually going up in the Kitchener-Waterloo area. So I'm not sure what's happening over in that side, but their numbers are going up. And now, but luckily that our numbers over this side are coming down. So now we're moving into step 2 on June 30th. So we've, moved up a few days because it was supposed to be July 5th. So that means personal care services can now open. I can go get my sugar in, get my hair cut, got my nails done, and all of them things. And the malls, the stores and malls can now, that are presently closed, can now reopen with limited capacity, but I don't care. As long as they're open, I'm good. I drove past Home Sense today. The line was long. Bath and Body Works had sale. The line was hella long. Winners, the line was still long, so I couldn't get anything because the line them too long and the sun out. So more stores open up, more places people can go shop. The lines get shorter. Yeah. So, but that's what's happening in Ontario right now, which is good. Well, Jason said that's why Granny said don't put your money in here about Jason. Stop it. That's why. In Hearing Bank, Lord Jason, you and your granny said, I need to go to Jamaica. It's been almost a year, but you can go. I don't know how, if you've been vaccinated, you won't have to quarantine there or here. If you're not vaccinated, you'll definitely have to quarantine. Why you laugh, Jason? Cherie says, finally. Yeah, so, also, international travel for Canada is opening a bit. On July 5th, fully vaccinated Canadians and permanent residents will be able to enter Canada without undergoing quarantine starting July 5th, the federal government announced earlier this week. And they're saying that those entering the country will have to show documents proving that they've received doses of vaccines approved in Canada at least 14 days prior to entering the country. Now, the 4 vaccines that are approved are AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. Nobody has really gotten the Johnson & Johnson yet, but those are the 4 vaccines that have been approved. I know that I have clients coming in from the Middle East that got the China vaccination that had to go get the one of the mRNA. I think he's going to go get the AstraZeneca vaccination because the China vaccination is not one of the approved ones for Canada. So, and they're saying that you must electronically submit your COVID-19 related information to the Arrive Can app before arriving. And, your pre-test on arrival test requirements, you have to be asymptomatic and have a suitable quarantine plan. If you've been approved for the exemption and will not have to quarantine, you still have to take a COVID test on day 18. Those arriving by air will not be forced to stay at a government authorized hotel, and non-vaccinated children or dependent adults traveling with them will also be exempt from the hotel stay. Children who are not vaccinated will be able to go home with their parents, but must quarantine for 2 weeks, says an official speaking on background. Erica says, still too much friggin' rigmarole. Jason says he hasn't vaxxed yet. Jason said, I heard it's kills sperm count, so I'm my doctor to do research, but he told me he won't see me unless I got my COVID vaccine then 2 weeks after. Jason, you tell me you have 5 pitney. You proudly claim it on here, say you have 5 pitney. So why if you kill your sperm count? You need more pitney? I'm only joking, but I haven't. Do your research, see what you find, what you come up with. I personally haven't heard that. I haven't seen that in my research. I've done checked out, the different ones and stuff. I am getting my second vaccine tomorrow, so tomorrow I'll get my Moderna and I'll be fully vaccinated. I got AstraZeneca the first time and I'm getting Moderna tomorrow. Each person has different reaction to the vaccine. But are they saying persons who get the vaccine cannot carry the virus? So you can still get the virus. However, your reaction to the virus will be minimal. It's like the flu shot. You can get the flu shot and still get the flu, but it probably won't affect you as bad as if you didn't have the flu shot. And so it's the same thing. It doesn't prevent you from not getting the virus, because there are people who have gotten their double doses and have gotten the Delta virus. That's the bad one that's out right now, but it hasn't affected them badly as it has affected people who are not vaccinated. So, like I said, to each person, do your research and make your decision. Also, flights are still banned from India, but after July 5th, flights from Pakistan will be allowed. And we're going to go to Bahamas, still on the COVID situation. When you're entering the Bahamas, you're going to have to apply for a travel health visa. You cannot enter if you're not approved. Bahamas has a travel health unit that processes between 6,000 to 8,000 health visa daily. So a lot of countries, I know last week I touched on said kits that they're not allowing people to come into their country without being vaccinated. So that's going to be a situation that we're going to see going forward. Angie says, but it's very mild. Yes. And Erica says, I got Pfizer for first dose and I'm now being offered Moderna, but I don't think I want to mix. Pfizer, I think Pfizer is another 2 to 3 weeks off based on what I'm hearing. They were late in their delivery in delivering the vaccine in the shipment, so they're another 2 to 3 weeks off. So you can wait for Pfizer. I just want to get it over and done with. I am still debating traveling. There's a couple of things that I need to get done, so I just want to get it over and done with. I did my research. I'm happy with the decision I make for myself. And that's what I'm doing. That's where I'm going. So, still on the corona situation, we're going to go to the Philippines. Um, the crazy man Duarte in the Philippines has threatened to order the arrest of Filipinos who refuse a COVID vaccination and told them to leave the country if they would not cooperate with efforts to end the public health emergency. Aren't you glad you live in Canada? So, President Rodrigo Duterte said that he's become exasperated with people who refuse to get immunized amid the health crisis, then help spread the virus. Don't get me wrong, he says. There is a crisis being faced in this country. There is a national emergency. If you don't want to get vaccinated, I'll have you arrested and I'll inject the vaccine in your butt. Duterte said, if you will not agree to be vaccinated, leave the Philippines. Go to India if you want, or somewhere to America, he says. And then he would order village leaders to compile a list of defiant residents. So Jason says, well, what I'm saying, if they're only having persons quarantined who haven't taken the vaccine and who got the vaccine can still carry, wouldn't that still allowing the virus to spread? I guess you have a point in that. I guess you do have a point in that sense, but I guess it minimizes the spread of the vaccine, of the virus, so we'll see. But I don't know, I just want to travel. I just want to do something. So Jason says he's crazy. Duterte, he's crazy. He is crazy, crazy, crazy. So my corona numbers for today are as follows. So Canada, 1.41 million tested, 1.38 million recovered, 26,168 deaths. Worldwide numbers, 180 million tested, 170 million plus recovered, 3.89 million have died. Ontario numbers are 543,000 tested, 531,000 recovered, 9,099 have died. Jamaica corona numbers, 49,795 tested, 29,130 have recovered, and 1,042 have died in Jamaica. I'm pretty sure by next week, Ontario will be at the 10,000 mark for people who have died from corona. But we're moving on to my WTF moment of the week. And I got two. So the lovely gentleman on screen, we're in Ontario and police are looking for him because he's accused of punching and stomping on a downtown drugstore employee for enforcing the masking rules. The incident happened at the store in the area of Yonge and Carlton Streets around 4:45 p.m. on June 17th. Police say an unknown man entered the establishment and he became involved in an interaction with a store employee about his face mask. The man, police said, became agitated and was escorted out of the store. When they were outside, the man allegedly punched the employee and then stomped on his head. Police said the employee was taken to hospital in serious condition, possibly with life-altering injuries on Wednesday. Police released images of the suspect, who is described as between 6 foot to 6'2" with a muscular build. He was wearing a black t-shirt, black shorts, black socks, black sandals, blue face mask, and a white do-rag on his head. In addition, the suspect was carrying a black and brown bag. What is wrong with these people? It's just a mask. Put it on. No, you're going to go jail when them catch you. Because somebody are going to turn them in. When you go in a jail and them ask you, so dog, why you in a fuck? But you know me beat up one person because me never want to put on my mask. Like, dumbass, put your mask on. Anyways, we're going to go to South Africa. And this story came out last month. And normally when stories like this come out, there are pictures. There was a lady who had 9 kids, couple of months ago or 3 months ago, and there was pictures of her in the hospital with her 9 kids. This lady claimed that she, gave birth to 10 babies, and to date, there's been no pictures of her with her 10 babies. So in South Africa, this lady claims who claims she gave birth to 10 babies, have been admitted to the psychiatric ward. Gosiame Tamara Sitole, who made headlines for the alleged record-breaking birth, was taken to the psychiatric ward last week at Tembisa Hospital in Johannesburg and examined by a medical team. The South African woman who claims she gave birth to 10 babies at once has been admitted to the hospital for a psychiatric evaluation amid growing speculation over whether she was ever actually pregnant with decouplets. I just found out that decouplets mean 10 kids. Gosiame Tamara Sitole, age 37, who made headlines for the alleged record, was taken by a medical team. The medical evaluation has shown that there was no pregnancy. It also shows that there are no physical scars to indicate a recent C-section. Her attorney, Rifilo Mokeene, said Sitole claims she's now being held against her will at the hospital. She declined that she should be taken to the Tembisa Hospital for the psychiatric evaluation because she felt strongly that she's of sound mind. Local health officials have also said they have no record of the decouplets being born at any of the region's private and public facilities. I don't know. The lawyer is complaining that, she's not being allowed to see them. She's not being allowed to see anybody, the team of psychologists and all of that stuff. Apparently the hospital visit was the latest turn in the strange saga, which also involved the baby's daddy, because the baby daddy, he's still not seeing the 10 babies. He wasn't able to visit her in hospital. She didn't tell him. She told him he couldn't visit her in the hospital. And when she left the hospital, she failed to disclose her whereabouts and the condition of the babies. The family has resolved and concluded that there are no decouplets born between Tibogo Sosetsi and Giosami Sitole until proven otherwise, and wishes to apologize for any inconvenience and embarrassment, they added. So local health officials, there's no record of at any of the private or the public facilities that anybody has given birth to 10 kids. Nobody anywhere. No hospital, no private hospital, no public hospital, no birthing room, no nothing. Nobody, nowhere, anywhere has any record of her having given birth to 10 kids. The doctors who also examined her has stated that her body has not given birth recently, that she didn't have a C-section, she didn't give birth naturally, and there's no evidence, no medical evidence to show that she gave birth recently at all. So Jason says some of their mouth smell in the mask, so they need fresh air, right? Marcel says it's in her mind. Jason said she had 10 balloons under her clothing. Possibly. Cherie says, say what now? And Colleen says she have them a bush. Colleen, I'm going to ask you and Jason if you stop. Oh, gee, I feel sorry for her. Jason said, good night, guys. Have to check out. Give these little ones some attention. Good night, Jason. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Okay, yeah, so I feel sorry for her because obviously there's some mental issues going on. So with her. So if you're just checking in, say hi, say hello, let me know who's here, who's joined me. I am now coming back to Ontario because our illustrious there was a man who was wielding a large butcher's knife. He was arrested outside Premier Doug Ford's Etobicoke home on Monday night. According to the spokesperson for the Premier's office, the man showed up at this home and started yelling threats. An OPP officer who was on site arrested the man immediately. The Premier thanks the officer for his quick action and bravery, which resulted in no harm to anyone involved in the incident. Ford's home has been the site of numerous protests over the last year. In November 2020 news conference, the Premier lashed out at individuals for protesting the province's lockdown measures and disrupting his neighbors, calling them buffoons. I have the best neighbors anyone could ever ask for. They didn't sign up for this. They aren't making decisions for the government. It is totally unfair. It's unacceptable that they have to put up with this because they're living beside the Premier, Ford said at the time. I'm not a Doug Ford fan at all, ever, at all, but I don't think people should be going to his house to protest, to make noise, to disturb the neighbor, to disturb him family and him kids them. That part there, me no like. When them see my road, that different. Go him office, that different. But if you go him house, that part there me no agree with. Not at all. Not at all. But yeah. Anyways, we're staying in Ontario. So there was a big drug bust recently. 20 people are facing rafts of charges and more than $61 million worth of cocaine, crystal meth, and marijuana was seized in what Toronto police are calling the largest drug seizure in the service's history. Project Brisa allegedly found a group of smugglers using trapdoor compartments in tractor trailers to move up to 100 kilograms of drugs at a time from Mexico and California to several cities in Ontario. The conspirators allegedly moved large quantities of drugs into Canada via Ontario border crossings. Toronto Drug Squad Acting Inspector Steve Watts said the trap compartments were extremely difficult to detect and penetrate. They were so sophisticated to the point that X-ray scanning was not able to penetrate those traps. Investigators allege the traps were built and installed by a 43-year-old British Columbia man who is one of those charged as part of the probe. In May, police executed 35 search warrants in Toronto and the GTA, Sarnia, London, Guelph, Kitchener, Montreal, Halifax, Surrey, Calgary, and Winnipeg. They allegedly seized 444 kilograms of coke, 157 kilograms of crystal meth, 427 kilograms of marijuana, and 300 oxycodone pills. They also found $966,000 in cash and seized 5 tractor trailers and several other vehicles, including a Mercedes G-Wagon. Investigators also seized 1 Glock handgun. Watts said the vehicles and cash will be taken by the Ontario government through civil forfeiture proceedings while the drugs will be destroyed. This is somebody pocket and burn them right now. That's a lot of drugs. That's a lot of drugs. They were saying several of the tractor trailers and other vehicles were modified with hydraulic-powered trapdoor compartments to move drugs. 20 people are now in custody and 2 others are still on the lam. The majority of those charged reside in Kitchener, Toronto, and the GTA. They're facing a combined total of 182 criminal code charges, 2 suspects are still outstanding, and they're identified as Scott McManus, 38, and William Nan, 23, both of Toronto. I see that York Regional Police is a part of the bust, and I hope, it doesn't fall apart again. So we'll see how that goes. But that's a lot of drugs. Somebody get caught with something and decide to cut a deal and bust on the rest of them. That's a lot of drugs. Marcel says straight go to his place of work. Hey, Clarendon, thanks for checking in. Colleen says everyone they call the biggest. Now, Colleen, that one that look to the amount of drugs what them get, yeah, that are now. Erica says somebody never get paid, so them bust a secret, right? Clarendon said they will all plead guilty and get time served and credit for COVID. True that. Cherie says Informer. Clarendon says everybody get bail these days due to COVID. And Colleen says that an a bus at a tree. Man, for the amount of drugs. I mean, that one, the streets get hit big when with a drug bust like that. So whatever is on the streets now, price gone up because they know it's a scarcity. And on the other level, the people them that did that and put it together, say for them pocket and burn them along with, the time where they must serve in a jail, because I know that's enough money drugs. That's enough money drugs. So yeah, that's a lot. So we're going to go to Oregon, where a sheriff's deputy shot and killed a rampaging chimpanzee on a farm in Oregon on Sunday after the animal attacked its owner and forced them to take shelter in their basement. The incident happened Sunday at a horse farm in Pendleton, Oregon. The owner, Tamara Brigodi, called 911 and urged police to kill her 200-pound pet chimpanzee Buck after it bit her 50-year-old daughter several times. I've locked myself in the basement with her, Brigodi said on the call, referring to her daughter. I can't get out to get my gun, she added before asking police to kill the chimp. You're gonna have to do a headshot, Brigodi, 68, said. She'd never seen the buck act like this, and she urged police not to underestimate the animal. Said more than one deputy, because if the ape gets a drop on him, he's gone too, she said. He has got to be put down. Oh, Jesus. The operator asked Brigodi if she's applying pressure to her daughter's most grievous wound. And she says, I'm trying to guard her from a 200-pound ape, so I really can't put pressure on it. So when the deputies showed up on scene, they found the 200-pound chimp roaming the grounds outside of his cage. They complied with the request and shot the animal once in the head. Apparently, the daughter was taken to the hospital and was treated for severe bite wounds to her torso, arms, and legs, and she's expected to make a full recovery. Apparently, they've had the chimpanzee for 17 years and nothing. And then the chimpanzee decided had enough fun, That's it. So Marcel says trade with Clarendon says price going up, but the war just started. Yep, because them have to go find out who talk for real. Cheryl says damn foolishness, pet chimpanzee. Girl. That's white people problems. Yes. So for those of you who use software and use computers, you would have probably used a Mcafee antivirus software to get virus off your computer. John Mcafee, the founder of that company, died by an apparent suicide in a Spanish jail. He died on Wednesday evening, hours after reports surfaced that he would be extradited to face federal charges in the USA. The eccentric tech entrepreneur was arrested in October and was awaiting extradition when he was found dead. So this story is a little bit weird. Hey, Marlene, how are you? He's been on the run for a long time. He's been charged with securities fraud, defrauding his company that he founded, defrauding investors of their crypto money. There's also some Jeffrey Epstein type situation that they're looking into him for that they're not quite sure. Yes, maybe, So he wasn't found guilty of any of the charges because he never stuck around to go to court to do, to have a trial and whatever. Also, he's always put out that if he's ever found dead, he didn't commit suicide, he was killed. He's always stated that if he's ever found dead and they say it's suicide, don't believe them because he wouldn't kill himself. So there's this whole conspiracy theory situation going on. So he was in a country that their extradition situation with the USA was a little bit, but they wouldn't extradite him because of the type of crime that he committed. They would not have extradited him because there wasn't anything specific yet. However, in October in Tennessee, there was a 10-count indictment issued against him by a grand jury. So what that means is they brought the evidence to a grand jury for the grand jury to decide whether or not he should be officially charged with a crime. The grand jury took a look at it and say, yes, there's enough here to charge him with a crime. So now there are charges pending against him. So now there's indictments issued against him. So since the indictment has been issued, Spain then decided, okay, now there's official documents out for you. We have to arrest you, which they did. So he's been in jail since October, and he's been fighting extradition to the USA since then. However, he lost. And on Wednesday, it was stated that he has to go back to the USA to face the charges. And on Wednesday night, he was found dead in his cell. So now it's in, all the conspiracy theories are talking that he was silenced and he didn't kill himself and all of these things. But at the end of the day, it was millions and millions and millions of dollars that he defrauded. He didn't pay income tax on many, many millions of dollars. So they're saying that, he was killed because of what he knew. And again, because of some situation with him and Jeffrey Epstein, and also with him, there's some disgusting stories circulating about him from back in the day about, feces and all of them, something and whatever. But yeah, so there's going to be talk for a bit. Let's see who's on. Marlene says, I'm great. Siobhan says, hey sis, hey Siobhan, thanks for checking in. Siobhan says, looking hot. I try. Like my shirt, Siobhan, like my shirt. Sherman, hey cuz, Sherman, how are you? I believe someone killed him. Thanks for checking in, my cousin from Atlanta. Clarendon says that he didn't kill himself because of innocent. Please, right? You can never tell with these people. You can never tell. So there's stuff going on. We don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know if there's going to be further investigation on it. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to circle into Jamaica because one of our female sprint legend, Veronica Cambell Brown, VCB, who celebrated her 39th birthday last month, who has won 19 medals at Olympic Games and World Championship levels, has decided that she is retiring from running. She made the announcement yesterday. So, she gave her little speech and she's decided that she's had enough. She did her thing and she's got businesses and stuff that she needs to take care of. Her foundation she's going to do, spend time with her family and all of that stuff. So you know what? She did what she could. There's nothing more to achieve. Like, she's got gold medals. She got Olympic medals. She got world medals. She's been, near the top of the sport because, Pocket Rocket, Shelly and Fraser Price is at the top. VCB has always been right there behind her. So she has nothing else to prove. So we'll just wish her all the best in her retirement and, blessings. So this story I read, and I don't know. I'm just going to read it. You give me your opinions. So, Senior Parish Judge Lorianne Cole Montague yesterday pledged to make an example out of a foul-mouthed teenager who, among other things, wrestled with a policewoman in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. The teen, Ernest Trail, he's 19 by the way, was at the courthouse to answer charges of disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. And his bad behavior saw him being slapped with additional charges of resisting arrest, escaping custody, malicious destruction of property, assault occasioning actual bodily harm, use of abusive and calumnious language, and disorderly conduct. He was standing outside of one of the courtrooms when he asked a policewoman whether his name was on the court's list for mention. Displeased with the response, Trail allegedly responded, "Ugly like your big, you see, mama, gal." The policewoman then told him that he would be arrested for abusive and calumnious language. Trail was captured on video, flashing off the cop's hands as she escorted him to the holding cell. A tussle ensued and Trail grabbed at the cop's uniform, causing some buttons on her blouse to break. Another female cop intervened but was left barefooted as her shoes were damaged by the teenager. Cole Montague, the judge, having seen the video, was not amused. "That mouth needs bleached," she told Trail. "How dare you come to the courthouse and behave in the manner that you did? How dare you? I'm going to make an example out of you, young man, because I have to send a message," the judge said. So eventually the judge asked him if the policewoman was rude or abusive to him, or did she call him ugly or anything, and the youngster said no. He also said that he's told about his mother regularly. I don't know what that means. So the judge decided that she's gonna give him, he has to compensate the police officer for the torn uniform. He had to apologize to the police officer. He had to pay $60,000 to the police officer. He didn't have any money, of course, so his mother paid $35,000 on his behalf, and she said that she would again come back to court later in the month to pay the remaining $25,000. I don't understand. Oh, you fit in a court going like that. Anyways, Jamaica is semi-opening again. And the amount of memes that are coming out is quite interesting. So curfew will be 11 p.m. They'll be able to have more functions. Not that it has stopped them before, because they were having all kind of function behind closed doors, but they're now able to have more functions and do more things and all of that. So yay to them. Party can shut off, legally shut off at 11. Them not have to run up and down now every time them see policeman a come and a run up and down and kill themselves and all of these things. So yeah, the little man them will normally sell peanut and them something they can go back go sell peanut and make them money, and good big things are going for them. So we're gonna get to the soul chattings of the night, and the soul chattings tonight is 20 minutes of doing something is more valuable than 20 hours of thinking about doing something. 20 minutes of doing something is more valuable than 20 hours of thinking about doing something. And can I tell you that applies to me? Because some mornings I get up at 6 and I'll think about going to walk. And I will literally lay there for an hour or two. Like, I'll do other things. And for like 2 hours, I'll debate whether I want to go walk or not. Mind you, for me to do a 5K or a 6K, I'm done in an hour. But me, I spend out 2 hours. I debate whether I need to go walk. So this applies to me very, very much. So the prizes, the giveaway this week is the Fight. Fight is a powdered substance that can be put in your smoothie. You can drink it on its own, just add water or add coconut water to it. You can do different things. So it has spirulina, it has algae, it has kale. It's all green. So literally, if you're a vegan and you're looking for something to give your smoothie a boost, or you just want to, add some coconut water, add some water, add some lime to it and give it an extra oomph, this Fight is yours. And for my regular viewers who knows that I have the giveaway tool, I am going to spin and we'll see who wins. We will see who wins. We will see who wins. We will see who wins tonight. Ta 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 ta. Clarendon won. Yay! So I'll send it out to you. I know where to find you, so I'll send it to you. Anyways, peeps, I thank you for joining me yet again on another Thursday night. Next week is July 1st. It's a holiday night, so I won't be broadcasting next week, Thursday. Go out, enjoy yourself, and I'll be back the week after. So next Thursday, July 1st, I won't be broadcasting. It's a holiday. I'm going to take that holiday. And, I'm going to give you guys a holiday too. So thank you. Thanks for joining. Love you guys. And see you the week after that, which will be July 8th. Thank you. Love you guys. Bye.